There haven't been many pitchers better than Zach Wheeler over the course of the last, say, month and a half. 7-0 with a 1.64 ERA. You can't complain about that. And 8 starts, 54 innings. That's almost 7 innings a start. So he's going deep into games. He's getting guys out left and right. He's not getting in any trouble, and he's just piling up wins. It's win after win after win. And one of those games he gave up 4 runs. So, do the math. That's six runs in 7 starts.
That's pretty damn good.
It's very damn good. So, Zach Wheeler has become automatic. I don't know what's going on with Syndergaard. He's not automatic, but obviously he's good still. And DeGrom, they can't score for him.
Well, it'll be interesting next year, and I hate to look ahead so far ahead, but will the Mets fill in the holes, or will they even have a general manager or something? I don't know.
Well, friend of the show, Bill Madden, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yes,
by the way,
he's been on the show 3 times.
Yeah, Hall of Fame friend of the show.
And he's also back writing for the Daily News.
Yeah, he wrote in Sunday's column that the Mets next GM should be. All right, this is he's kind of going along the lines of this is what he's heard and this is probably what's going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. But he's saying that the next Mets GM should be Gary LaRocque, who is currently the St. Louis Cardinals player development director. Now, Gary LaRocque should sound a little bit familiar to you, brother, because he formerly was part of the Mets system. He was the Mets VP of scouting from 1998 until 2005. Now, if you look at the Cardinals, because recently in the last month or so, the Cardinals have been playing outstanding baseball. And the reason for the outstanding baseball is their system. Their rotation, because of injuries, is now, I think, entirely their AAA rotation to start the season. So all of these guys have come up, Jack Flaherty, who are some of the other guys? Basically, it's just a minor league collection of pitchers. And these guys are all starting for the Cardinals now. Milos Mikolas, I think his name is. These guys came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they are the Cardinals' rotation, and the Cardinals are killing people. So that's Gary LaRocque. That's good scouting. That's making good draft picks. That's building an organization where if somebody gets hurt, you can reach down and say, all right, we have a guy. Tyler O'Neill is a big power hitter for them. He hit another home run last night. He's a guy who I don't even know if he's got 150 at-bats in the major leagues, but he is a star outfielder of the future for the Cardinals. But this is the guy who Bill Madden is hearing is likely to become the next Mets GM. Obviously, that wouldn't happen until after the season. But right now, that's what the Mets need. And Gary LaRocque is 65 years old. He's no spring chicken. But
and what happens to Sandy?
Sandy's done. Sandy has admitted as much. I don't think Sandy wants to be the GM anymore. He's got his health issues he's got to deal with. And the Mets are currently being run by the triumvirate of Omar Minaya and J.P. Ricciardi, and I don't even know who the third guy is. It's too many GM
Omar
names to remember.
Snuck back in.
But Gary LaRocque, 65 years old. He's not one of these analytics guys. He's not a young – I mean, I'm sure he believes in it and embraces it to a certain extent, like I think everybody does these days, but he's more of a feel guy, an eye guy. Like he's gonna look and take, players got to pass the eye test with this guy. And that's how he assesses players. And from what Madden wrote, that's what the Wilpons want, is a guy who is going to judge players like that and rebuild the Mets system. Because let's face it, the Mets don't have a lot of players in their system. They have a couple of pitchers. And this kid Kelenic, who they drafted in the first round this year, he's hitting the ball in the minor leagues. So the Mets finally got to pick right, because this kid looks like an advanced bat. He's only 18 years old, and he's tearing up the minor leagues already. So that's a good sign. But he's one of maybe 4 minor leaguers that the Mets have who are going to be legitimate players, and you need more than that, because right now they have maybe 2 pitchers. Peter Alonso, the first baseman that everybody's crazy about, and this kid Kelenic. And that's it. That's not enough. It's not nearly enough to try to build something. But we'll have to see what happens with that. I look at the Mets system, and you look at Ahmad Rosario, and he was supposed to be a star caliber shortstop. He was supposed to be Gleyber Torres, basically, last year when he came up. And he's doing better lately, but I still don't see – he was a top 10 prospect.
Right.
And people were like, whoa, wait till Rosario gets here. He's going to be a good one. And he's batting about 260, and he's pretty quick. He's stealing bases, but is he doing that much? Not really. He's above average.
Before we take the break, brother, I wanted to get your opinion. I'll give my opinion of these weekend jerseys they had.
Love them.
You loved them?
Love them.
I was really bothered by them.
Why? They've been doing it for a couple of years now.
I know. It just seems like. It just seemed like, here, guys, go buy these new jerseys.
Well, that's part of it, but
I don't know.
Marketing is part of everything with baseball.
Yeah, I know.
But they do that as kind of a tribute to the Little League World Series, which is kind of a nice thing to do. The players all get to put nicknames on the back of their jerseys. And
do they do that in the Little League though? They put nicknames.
No, but it kind of takes the players back to their youth. That's what it's supposed to. That's the idea behind it. And they can also wear special cleats. Like Dellin Betances is wearing a pair of yellow spikes for the whole weekend that were unbelievably bright. I don't know what the motivation was. I never did get to hear the story, but Betances, those spikes were crazy. And let me just throw another story in here, brother. The Staten Island Little League team, they actually got to take batting practice and fielding practice with the Mets on Sunday. So they were there to see the bullpen implosion. The poor kids. Maybe they got them out of there, but after the seventh inning and didn't let them watch it. But the kids, I'll tell you what, the Mets should have gotten that Staten Island kid, the Bruno kid, who threw the perfect game. They should have thrown him out in relief. Yeah. Bruno, come on, you're in, like Henry Rowan Gardner or something. But the kids got to be on the field. They got to take batting practice at Citi Field, and you got to remember these kids are used to playing on 60-foot baselines. Now all of a sudden they're going to Citi Field. That's a little bigger ballpark.
But you know what? That's something they'll never forget. Most of those guys aren't going to make
highlighted their life.
Are not making Major League Baseball. Nothing against them. It's just the odds. The odds.
But, of course.
But imagine
there's only so many Todd Frazier's.
That's like us playing soccer, and okay, we're going to the Meadowlands today. We're going to hang out with Pele and Canalia.
I'm there.
And Beckenbauer.
I would have gone.
Though Canalia probably would have laughed at us.
That was Giorgio. That's the way he was. I will say one more thing about the Mets, and then you can go to break.
Okay.
Gio Gonzalez, who faced the Mets, and actually I think he was the losing pitcher against Zach Wheeler. He is 11-2 with a 1.75 ERA at Citi Field, and he's also 15-6 against the Mets in his career. Gio Gonzalez is a free agent after this season. He'd be worth an offer, short-term offer.
Are you trying to imply that if he came to Citi Field,
he likes pitching to
Citi Field would help him and the Mets make a better pitcher?
Well, I think not facing the Mets would obviously be detrimental to him, but I think it would be worth maybe 2 years, $20 million if they could get him for that. I don't even know if they could get him for that. They probably can't, because I think Gio will probably get a 3-year deal from somebody, but it would be worth investigating. Let's put it that way.
Okay, you're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Also on the iHeartRadio app and nccradio.org. If you'd like to make a comment or question, give us a call, 516-572-7440.
Okay. Yo.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Apparently, they just unearthed 3,200-year-old cheese.
What?
In an Egyptian tomb.
Are you guys cheese people?
Absolutely.
I love cheese.
I would die for cheese. Probably die because of cheese. You know what I just tried the other day?
What?
Apple pie with cheddar cheese on top.
You're putting cheddar cheese on your apple pie?
That was a popular treat back in the 60s.
I think if we took a poll, everyone would say overboard.
You would.
Where did you get that from?
It sounds disgusting.
So you're melting the cheese on top of
How much
apple pie?
cheese do you put on?
Just a little bit.
So what is
just
it
a
called?
little bit.
Because it's not a la mode.
A la cheese.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC. This portion of programming on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by the Center for Workforce Development at Nassau Community College. Interested in a career in healthcare? In partnership with the VEEB School of Nursing, the Center for Workforce Development is offering a Certified Nursing Assistant, or CAN. Over 3 months, students will be instructed in patient care techniques, administering treatments, and documenting patients' vital signs and symptoms. Students who complete 120 hours of training, including a clinical rotation, will be able to sit for the New York State certifying exam. Classes begin September 22nd. More information can be found by contacting the Center for Workforce Development at 516-572-7487 or by visiting ncc.edu.
Remembering Neil Simon, who wrote the play and the movie of The Odd Couple. That's Neil Hefti's music.
A lot of Neils.
Used as the theme for the movie and the TV series. So this version we're playing is from the TV series. One of the greatest TV shows ever.
Neil Macchio, big fan. Throw another Neil out there.
Two of the greatest characters ever created. Really, if you think about it. They're just perfect.
Oscar and Felix, you mean?
Oscar and Felix.
Not Speed.
I love Speed. They found out they named him Homer. His name was Homer. He goes, "What do you think? My mom named me Speed?"
Yeah. Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Remember he bet against... he bet with that Oscar was going to get married on the TV show?
I think so.
Because Oscar said, bet on it, and then they canceled the wedding and he starts yelling.
Speed did like a sure thing.
The great Gary Wahlberg, who ended up with Klugman on Quincy.
Quincy, yes.
Quincy,
he wound up playing the detective.
Yeah.
The grizzled detective.
The grizzled
detective. Of course, by that time he was like 65 years old. He couldn't do anything but grizzled.
Oh. Anyway, you've got From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, streaming on the iHeartRadio app, among other places, and go to our website, nccradio.org, to find out about this show and all the other shows here at WHPC. This becomes a podcast later on Spreaker, and all the rest of the podcast stops along the way. I'm Rob Leonard. He's Tim Leonard, award-winning sports writer.
How you doing?
And
you made award-winning sports writer my last name again.
Well, it's there's a pause. Tim Leonard, award-winning sports writer. You know, like Fred Garvin, male prostitute.
Yeah, those are really similar.
Well, Tim Leonard, male prostitute. How's that?
No, thank you.
Tim Leonard, male prostitute.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Portraits of specialties.
Anyway,
let's give while we're on just leaving the subject of baseball, brother. Let's give some shout outs to Hawaii.
Why Hawaii?
Team Hawaii.
Okay.
Because they won the Little League World Series. They were actually responsible. Well, they weren't responsible for eliminating Staten Island, but they gave Staten Island their first loss. The Hawaiian team defeated South Korea yesterday, 3-0. It was the third Little League World Series title for Hawaii, which is kind of surprising. They last won in 2008. The pitcher, right-hander Kaolu Holt, threw a 2-hit shutout. Good for him. And these names are killing me. Manalau Kong led off the game with a home run on the first pitch of the game. South Korea had not given up a home run in the entire tournament. And Hawaii, on the first pitch of the game, the kid goes deep over the center field fence. Pandemonium in the Hawaii dugout after that.
Why not?
Then 2 runs scored in the third inning on a wild pitch. Pitch got past the catcher. Guy on third scores. Hawaii had a fast kid on second base, so the manager, who was also the third base coach, sent him, and when the catcher threw the pitcher muffed the throw, so the kid was able to slide in. Now it's 3-0. So good for Hawaii. And then like I said, the Holt kid, he was pretty much untouchable.
Okay, a couple of things. Just a quick thing. Today the U.S. Open starts.
Yes.
Over at Flushing Meadows.
Yes, that's.
And we should say it's the 50th anniversary of the Open tennis tournaments.
Yes. Go to the Billie Jean King Tennis Center and get your tennis on.
And there was a great article by friend of the show, George Vesey, who wrote about, when it first started as an open tournament, and it was at, the West Side Tennis Club, and,
yes.
a little more panache there, a little more
genteel.
Yeah, the way it is now, it's like, get everyone in, and
now it's, let's see how many millions of dollars we can make.
Well, they make a lot of money in 2 weeks, so
yeah, they do.
You can't comment and say it's a bad thing.
No, right? It's people will pay it, and I have no qualms about massive sports.